Hi there! Thank you for joining us. We're Tracklib from Sweden. I'm Magnus. I work with the artist and label relations. And I'm also a producer and beat maker and an occasional singer.
And I'm Afa. I'm the licensing manager. Not as fun, but I oversee all the licensing at Tracklib. And we are here today to talk a bit about what we do, who we are, and what we are contributing to the world of sampling.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know us, we're the world's first platform for sampling and licensing samples for your music, legally. So you can basically say that we're the first record store for sampling ever, and we're very proud of that.
And created by a group of music lovers from Stockholm, London, and New York. We are a startup with a vision to give music new life.
Sometimes we say that iTunes did for downloads and Spotify did for streaming. We now do for sampling.
And we launched in April 2018, and we can proudly say that we are the go-to service worldwide for producers and musicians looking for samples.
We make it affordable for producers to license music and also for catalog owners to generate new revenue streams that they didn't have before.
And we've already had successful hits, one of them being the 5 times platinum selling hit Middle Child by J. Cole.
And added to that list we had artists such as DJ Khaled, Brockhampton, Mary J. Blige, 070 Shake and Lil Wayne, all using samples from our catalog. We like to say that we're revolutionary in our way, both through a legal perspective and a creative perspective. By radically simplifying music licensing and making it fast and affordable, we unlock creative opportunities for the world's music creators, new revenue for the original rights holders, and we change the way the world can make music, basically.
And through Tracklib, artists and producers can dig deep into crates of old and new, popular and obscure music from all over the world. Original artists and creators benefit by generating revenue from their catalogs and finding a new audience for their music. We just want to democratize sampling and make it available for everyone. It doesn't matter if you've just started producing music or if you've been a producer for many years. Everyone should be able to have the same opportunities to create and release music.
And for me, I first started out like sampling when I was a young boy, like with pause button tapes at a cassette recorder, and I tried to chop and screw with music that way until I finally could afford a real sampler. At age 12 I finally got to buy a Roland S10, which had 4 seconds of sampling memory, so I couldn't make any like masterpieces with it, but I could still get accustomed to sampling. And I also sold cookies door to door to be able to afford a real sampler a couple of years later, a Kai S1000. And that sampler was actually about 6,000 euros back in those days. It was a lot of money for me. So finally I found a used one, and compared to today it's such a difference because pretty much everyone can sample for as long as they want with a laptop. I mean, it comes ready-made when you buy a laptop. So sampling memory is not an issue anymore, but trying to clear it's always been a legal problem for me as a producer and for the people I work with. And if you're not familiar with sampling, it can best be described as the practice of reusing a portion of another song or an existing sound recording, make a new composition out of that. And when you want to sample from Tracklib, it's very simple. You just go to our site, you choose a song, you download it and you put it into your music program, and you're then able to do whatever you want with it. We have an amazing catalog with an abundance of genres represented from most eras and parts of the world.
Tracks are additionally searchable by key, region, and instruments.
Tracks available on Tracklib are already cleared for sync. No additional license is needed.
And our labels and publishers range from BMG to Antonesia. Examples of genres are soul and funk from the 60s and 70s, alongside the new release from Play Nice.
So what do we offer the producers and our artists at Tracklib? We have, for example, world-class curation, really great diggers of sample nerds that know all the samples, not all, but a lot of them. And new collections are added constantly with everything from connoisseur gospel, yacht rock and lo-fi piano, blaxploitation to 80s nightclub.
And we have the amazing loop player, helping you find the perfect loops in any song on Tracklib. It's like bringing an automatic sampler to a dusty record store. With the loop player, you can try out loops in any song on the site on the fly.
And we have the multi-tracks and stems, a lot of them, and lots of our labels deliver multi-tracks and stems in addition to the master tracks, of course. And Tracklib has proven the hidden power of multi-tracks and opened up a whole new market for rights holders. Songs where multi-tracks are available sell on average 20 times more than those without. So songs with multi-tracks also have a 13% higher likelihood of getting licensed. We've seen that small catalogs where multi-tracks are included sell incredibly well. One example is Middle Child, where T- and J. Cole used just a brass part from first choice song Wake Up To Me.
We also highlight labels and artists. All labels and artists have their own dedicated space within Tracklib. They have a presentation with a logo, biography, and all the tracks in one place. Tracklib as a whole is an online subscription service for musicians and producers. Subscribers can download high-quality files of original recordings.
And for a very affordable monthly fee, I, as a producer, can get access to so many tracks from all over the world and all different genres. I'm a huge soul and jazz fan, and there's an abundance of tracks from those genres. Compared to back in the days when I used to crate dig a lot, it got pretty costly to buy original records, and today they might be hard to find if you don't want to pay up a lot of money. So for me it's like going to a candy store with music from all eras and all genres and parts of the world that I didn't even knew existed music of that kind. So it's a really good place to explore new music and also to use them in my own compositions in another way, which is revolutionary and very cool, actually.
And we have 3 plans. We have the essential plan, we have the standard plan, and we have the professional plan. And the difference is how many tracks you get to download each month. And master owners get 50% generated through track downloads and subscriptions, and publishers get 9.1 cents per download.
And an interesting thing here is that only 2% of the world's music catalogs generate the vast majority of revenues, and the other 98% is dormant. So Tracklib breathes new life into the sleepiest corner of the world's music catalogs, basically. And for some of our signed rights holders, Tracklib is now one of their main sources of income. Even one single track can make more than the whole remaining catalog in some cases.
Yes, so we make sample business a new revenue source, and you can divide it into 3 steps. The first one being track access. By giving access to masters, multi-tracks, and stems, catalog owners can earn money on track downloads and subscriptions. And just to highlight, we are a non-exclusive service, so there's no interference with our rights holders' other licensing. And number 2 being license fees. Catalog owners get a non-recoupable admin fee depending on song category. And number 3, derivatives. We generate large and completely new revenue for the whole music industry through derivative works. The main core of Tracklib is music licensing, and our whole idea is to make licensing simple. Everything we have on our site is pre-cleared, pre-priced, and ready to use. If an artist or label want to release a track, including a sample, commercially, they will have to obtain a sample license first. This is all simple and automated. They pay an upfront fee and agree to share a revenue percentage with original artists, sampled writers, and publishers. How much a license costs and how much revenue is shared will depend on the Tracklib song category and the length of the sample.
And we have 3 categories. We have category A, B, and C. The A category is basically for the chart toppers, and it's the most expensive one, but still pretty cheap. It's $1,500 per license. And the B category is more like mid-chart singles or unreleased songs by big artists or star artists. Also songs sampled or covered in hits, and that's $500. And category C, which is the most used one, is the high volume and revenue category. Great music at an affordable price, and it's only $50.
And we have 3 sample lengths. We have the short sample, which is up to 2 seconds, the standard sample up to 15 seconds, and the full sample up to 60 seconds. And the total sample length is cumulative, so it doesn't have to be a continuous piece. So let's say, for example, you found a song in category B and you want to sample 11 seconds of that song. Then you would have to share 15% of your revenue. And this is all simple. When licensees report their income on our site, they account that certain percentage depending on song category and sample length, and we account quarterly to our rights holders.
And now we'd like to show you the actual site and take you around and see what it looks like and how everything works. Okay, so welcome to my little studio here. I'm gonna take you on a journey into Tracklib land, show you how it's going down. And this is the first page you get to. It's the inspiration page, where you can find a lot of collections and some artist features. We have Chesky Records today on the smorgasbord of Tracklib. Don Tiki, Nina Brecker, Cape Lion, and some collections by our crate digger Omar. Tribal drums, mellow grime, some soul, jazz and R&B for creating mellow grime. It's a cool genre. And crazy jazz, jazz joints from another realm, stripped down soul, loop the loop. And we also do some track highlights every day and every week. And we have a section with the songs with multi-tracks. We can download just the bass or just the thingy snapping or getting down in the way you want with different tracks. So basically I'm doing it differently every time. It depends where I'm at in the creation of the song. Sometimes I just get inspired by the sample itself, and sometimes I need to spice up my track by adding parts, bits and pieces to it. But today I'm gonna demonstrate a track I made last week. You can search on all tracks if you don't know any specific track you wanna get down to. And they're all in different genres, song keys, and the track types. You can choose which instrument you wanna get, like drums, flute, guitar, harmonica, horns, or keyboards, and the BPM. You can also drag in this one to narrow the search. And the release year. I usually only sample things from 1928 to 1929. So I'm kind of simmered down in that sense. Region, all over the world. You can be quite specific what region you wanna be at, and also the license category depending on your wallet size. You have category A, B, or C. And the category C is only $50 to license, which is quite affordable for most. And you can just scroll through here. If you scroll through all tracks, there's an estimate of 1 year and 8 months until you get to the end, depending on the tempo, of course. Just kidding, but it's a lot of songs, a lot of songs. And you can also search by collections, like the ones you have on the inspiration site that you get into right away when entering Tracklib. 80s Nightclub, Pacific Island Soul, and there's a lot of collections in here to make you get fast into what you're after. Or you can scroll through the genres, and it's a lot of sub-genres to each genre. For example, electronic, it's like 30 different sub-genres. Rhythmic noise, synth pop, Eurodance, electro, Chicago house. And within the Latin section, it's Boogaloo, Cuban, Mexican, Pop Latino, Tango. And the R&B soul, we have like newly released tracks, R&B soul-y stuff, as well as old school stuff. We have Philly soul, we have P-funk, old school rhythm and blues, a lot of good gems in there. And the reggae section, dancehall, dub, ragga, ska. The list goes on and on, actually. Or you can search by artists if you have any favorites, and it's all in alphabetical order. Or you can search by label. So if you have a favorite label, you can always pull that one up and see what they got in store for today and preview some tracks. This, for example, is Aloha Got Soul from Hawaii. Great soul music. And the list goes on and on at Aloha Got Soul as well. So what I want to do now is look up the track I digged the other day. Usually I like to find like really obscure kind of left field stuff that no one else has sampled. That's what I'm usually after when I'm going record digging. And when I dig in Tracklib, it's almost the same thing. I try to find beautiful music that I haven't heard before and try to make something new out of that. So it's either that way or it's the soul or jazz way. I'm get like really stoked by 70s soul ballads. I use that a lot, and I also use a lot of modern jazz, like trio jazz, a lot of piano to make harmonic music for today. And the one I'm after at the moment is a track called Lingaham Karantamba, and it goes a little something like this. And one really cool thing is that we have the loop player, where you can loop a section of the track you're listening to and see if it fits in within your song. You can have a 2-bar loop, or you can have a 1-bar loop. In an offbeat style. So I download this track. I go to the track and just press download loop if I made a loop, or you can download the whole track, of course. So I download that one, but I already made some preparations within my DAW, Ableton, of this track, and it goes a little something like this. Did some live chopping there. It's a pretty short piece that I made, but I think it's gonna be a little longer when I'm done with it. I hope you all enjoyed and got a little insight how you can actually use Tracklib on a day-to-day basis and get inspired and creative at the same time. And we also do different initiatives on the platform. We have a creative advisory board, which consists of producers such as Prince Paul, Eric Sermon and Drummer Boy, and later joined by Zaytoven in 2018 and Scott Storch in 2020, and former Spotify executives Petra Hansson and Niklas Ivarsson in 2019.
We're also endorsed by some of the world's top producers: DJ Jazzy Jeff, Questlove, Liam Howlett, Bloodshy, Zaytoven, Prince Paul.
And we have beat placement competitions. This far we had competitions with Redman, Inspector Deck and Styles P. And it's really cool, then all the producers out there can send in their beats and have them listened to by these top producers.
Redman in the building, and I need a beat. Facts, I need a beat. Together I'm working with Tracklib, and we're scouring the planet to find the next super producer. You can be that person. Someone that I can possibly get a track from. Here's how it works. You got to do a fire beat using a Tracklib sample. We will choose the hottest track and that producer, and Tracklib will put them to work and possibly get some tracks in with me. Facts. You better send me some fire, because if it ain't fire, that out of here. This is Redman and I approve this message.
Another interesting thing that we do is sample breakdowns. We dissect tracks to visualize the art of sampling. You get a glimpse behind the boards, you discover original samples, and you learn from the greats. It is hugely appreciated by producers, diggers, and newcomers to sampling. And we have about 30 episodes so far, with the likes of Daft Punk, Alaya, Jay-Z, Britney Spears, Moby, Nas, Kanye West, K-Tronada, and Otto Knows.
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous.
We also host Tracklib Live Cook-Up, where top producers get to cook up a beat while the audience is watching on their Instagram or Twitch account. And they use a Tracklib sample that they have to have as the base for the beat. And after the beat is done, Tracklib hosts a competition where all the viewers can submit their own track.
We also have a very active blog where you can find different types of content with features of label, artists, and other news. For example, we have a monthly roundup where we highlight our favorite releases from tracks using Tracklib samples.
I got a pocket full of paper and I'm praying for protection. About to blow it all at the mall, no stressing. Independent rap money, never in the trap money.
I ain't tryna say that I'm gangster. Hand on my heart from I never been sucked for my chain. Try that shit where I come from, man, get a DDT and a punch in the face.
Break my heart. So you really wanna break my heart? What I do is a crying shit. Call me deep, watch me bleed.
So what about future of sampling?
So we have been discussing the future of sampling through Tracklib. And just looking at how music is being created today, you can clearly see that sampling is getting bigger and bigger. More and more artists and producers are incorporating sampling into their music.
And as music is getting shorter, multitracks and stems come more into play. As mentioned before, Middle Child by J. Cole is a great example of how multitracks and stems can be used and what impact it might have, both on the track itself but also on revenues generated.
And as tech becomes better, we see the future of sampling through Tracklib as a new form of income generation for derivative works, but also for old crate-digging music. Just a simplification of systems and having a digital community and tech improvements will lead to quicker revenues.
Registration process via Tracklib makes the whole licensing procedure easier. If you use Tracklib, there's never a need for legal dispute, as the sample you use has already been cleared. So there's an increased revenue for derivatives, which makes a massive decrease in litigation.
And as we've shown, releasing music and using samples should be an easy, fast, and affordable option. By just clicking on your computer, you can, within a few minutes, obtain a sample license and release a song. The easy part being the registration process. Everything is on our site. The fast aspect of it, you can release tracks more quickly as music and the way of releasing it is more accessible and affordable. You choose what you want to sample, for how long, and how much it would cost.
And Tracklib is also a modern way of making music accessible. We provide a source to discover music and to legally play around with it at your hands.
And we create new opportunities for producers, giving access to currently released tracks. An example is an album being simultaneously released on Tracklib. At the same time it's being released on DSPs where you can listen to it, you also have the opportunity to sample it.
As hip-hop was built on sampling, we can't see why music in general can't be built on sampling as well.
And with that said, we are very excited for the future and what it holds, and we hope to contribute to a fair, accessible playground for all musicians and producers. Thank you so much for listening.
Thanks.